I want to start probably with things like teenage pregnancy, which we have really struggled with all the way. Back in 2016, we had got a teenage pregnancy to the magnitude of 46%. And we have been able to struggle with this downwards. And up to recently, we are now doing 21%, but which we would still want to struggle and bring lower. That is at the county level. But as a Bondo sub-county, we are doing 17%, which means there are other regions, other sub-counties where there are no interventions that are still pulling us behind. Because if this county is at 21% teenage pregnancy and Bondo we are at 17%, it means that we are amongst the sub-counties that are doing well within the county. Apart from that, we have had a struggle with matters, family planning uptake, and we thank God that this family planning uptake, there have been a lot of myths around it. And not even with myths alone, there are also socio-cultural norms that have really affected uptake of family planning services, and more particularly amongst the youth. And we are seeing that since we started the interventions, we are seeing the uptake amongst the adolescents and young people is increasing. And therefore, that is also effectively helping us in reducing the teenage pregnancies that I had talked about earlier.
Tumefunzwa contraceptives, vile tunazuia mimba na vile tutazuia magonjwa. Tuliambiwa tutumie contraceptives kama condom, implant na hizo sikuwa nazijua hizo kabisa, hata sikuwa nazijua kabisa. Mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa tunakaa faithful. Hiyo family planning mwanzo walikuwa wanaogopa sana. Kwa inasema labda italeta magonjwa, labda ukijiweka hutapata mimba, hutapata watoto tuseme ukiolewa. Ukiolewa tuseme labda walikuwa wanasema labda hutapata watoto. Lakini kwa sasa wamekubali wote. Sasa hiyo kwa mfano mtoto unaweza enda shule tuseme ukiwa grade 6 anatoka shule amepata mimba, lakini for now watoto wana proceed na after that bado wanakuja kupata mimba na wanapata watoto. Kwa hivyo wamekubali.
We are also not leaving the community behind, and that is why we brought CHESOARS on board. And we also have got, we trained a category that is called rovers. Within the community, we have got rovers, and actually we have got 15 of them working across the 3 wards. So these 15 rovers, their work in the community, amongst other things, is to create demand for our services, to enlighten the community. They work together with other stakeholders in the community to include administration, to include the community health promoters, and also the community opinion leaders. So that is helping us in ensuring that the girl that we are taking care of at the facility would go back home and would also be taken care of there. So the roving that they are doing is really also supporting us from within the community level. So these rovers are creating demand, and then we are fulfilling that demand at the facility level.
When SHESOARS came in March 2022, so I decided to apply for that position as a rover because I'm also a youth leader in the community. I used to talk to my colleagues or my brothers in the community about drugs and how we can reduce crime so that they can look for something sustainable that they can do with their lives. So when SHESOARS came in, we started mobilizing. We enrolled first those vulnerable boys. Certainly I was so concerned about boys because in our area there are many NGOs that are working with the girl child. So it was very important for us to have so when the sessions that I took my boys through are drug and substance abuse, how they can avoid that. For the years 10 to 14, presumably because within Nairobi they have not started engaging into sex, so I personally talk to them about abstinence. But for 15 to 17, there are those that have started, 15 to 19, there are those who have started engaging into sexual activities. So then there we talk about abstinence, how they can stop having sex, or how they can use condoms. So we're also discouraging the boys and girls to not to have multiple sexual partners, because that will affect how maybe they will have STIs in the future. I've also, my sessions also have talked to my boys about having goals, clear goals that they want to attain and how they are supposed to attain them. Between the age of 15 to 17, there are those boys who are currently not going to school. So right now, there is how they are looking for employment. They are concerned, they're doing garbage collection activities. There are those who are doing scrap metal dealings. So with that age, in as much as that's not appropriate to work, but there are those that were really into it. So we actually, personally, I do advise them not to use the money in a wrong way, but to use them in a wise manner, by one, saving, and that those boys who have agreed that they want to have this culture in them, I do enroll them into a YSLA program so that they can learn how to save.
We are also trying to empower the young people economically, and that is making them self-reliant and independent. So with independence, even if it's a little degree of independence, it actually makes them not be vulnerable. Then not only that, we also give them empowerment. We give them education about life skills. And that alone is also a very good step, because that is giving them the confidence to say no when they mean no, and when they say yes when they actually are well informed and they know why they are saying yes.
Life skills nilipata kama decision making. Like now I made up my mind like on how to kujidepend, in si kila saa kuomba mzazi pesa, unatafuta kitu yako. Critical thinking, staying away from drugs, keeping your mind sober, vitu kaa hizo. Life kingine nilipata ni assertiveness, like I have to build up myself more than anything else.
Of these groups, 38 of them are doing loaning and micro-leasing activities amongst themselves, and that is the economic empowerment I was talking about. So in these groups that are supposed to be doing loaning and form of table banking, 26 of them are already actively doing loanings. They're actively doing loanings, and 12 of them are still going through the training program.
From YSLA is an abbreviation which means Youth Savings Loaning Association. So this is where we adolescents who know themselves, who are like living together. So they come, form a group, they are trained, and they start saving. So they save and they loan. Yeah. So actually, from the savings that they come up with, that is where they get the loan. So it's self-managed. It is themselves. The leadership comes from the members. I assist them to identify income-generating activities that are environmentally friendly. Yeah. So I also do that. Then I also link up with other groups. Yeah, like we have another YSLA group in Uyawi. So sometimes we benchmark, we compare notes, what's working well on the other side and what's not working well on the other side, so that we improve. Yeah.
So what income generating activities has this specific group and maybe other groups are engaged in? And I think it would also be important to know why they engaged in this specific IGs.
Yeah, in Deda we are doing briquette making. Yeah, so we thought of it because one, this is an island, so getting firewood is a problem, and most of us cannot afford other means of energy, like the gas part of it, gas cooker. There are also cows around, so some of us have the cows, so the cow dung is readily available. Then again, it is also not polluting the environment, so that's why we picked briquettes. We are also doing net making for fishing. Yeah. So if you look at this place, we are surrounded by water. So it means that the income generating activity for this community is fishing. Yeah, so we have the market. We don't need to look for the market. The market is there with us.
Now, how important is this? Because you realize that even in the teenage pregnancies, they come as a result of these little handouts that young girls get, like they are not able to afford pads. Somebody offers to give them a pad. They wanted to go to the hospital. They don't have, some of the services are paid for. They don't have money to pay for services. Somebody offers to pay. They want to go to, let's say, just the facility. Somebody has offered to drive them there, to ride them there on a border. They don't have transport. And they pay back in kind. That payment back in kind ultimately ends up with these unexpected teenage pregnancies. So this is a common thing that we are trying to avoid, to reduce to some level through this economic empowerment that you're talking about. So the healthcare providers were trained. Actually, 18 facilities, we trained 2 healthcare providers from each. So we had a total of 36 healthcare providers trained on youth-friendly services, because one of the other components that was there was staff attitude. It was a big issue because young people went to the facilities, and as they went to the facilities, they did not get the kind of service they expected to get, because probably of the attitude of the providers. The providers did not understand them. So we realized that when the providers are taken through this kind of a process, then they would understand the youths. And actually that has yielded, because we have seen an influx of young people into our health facilities, because we understand that they come at special hours, so they make themselves available for those youths at those special hours. So that has actually brought some changes.
Tuliambiwa kitaka kupata hiyo family planning, naenda hospitali, tunaambiwa tunaandikiwa karatasi, tupeleke kwa daktari, sio mwenyewe unaenda kwenye express, unaandikiwa tu karatasi na unampea daktari na anajua kufanyia.
First of all, chenye ningesema ni like teenagers wanafaa kupewa exposure. Like that exposure gives you something that you never had before. Unaweza kama hizo ma contraceptives nini, unaweza enda hapo hospitali, like doctors atakaa hapo, atakuongelesha, atakusaidia venye unataka. I think ni vizuri teenagers tupate hiyo exposure. Yeah.
Shinye nanifurahisha vile nilifungua hii biashara. Sasa inaweza saidia wazazi wangu kulipia watoto wetu school fees.
Okay, it has changed my life in a way that maybe today, you know, as a girl, if you don't have something to keep you busy, you can engage yourself in some activities that are not good. Maybe today, if I could not be able to go to school, I will even be an housewife or a street girl somewhere. And through this thing, I have become aware of how you can avoid some things by doing other things right. Yeah.
Ya kwanza elimu ya kijinsia, kama sisi wasichana tu walikuwa wanasema msichana hafai kusoma, msichana anafaa kukeketwa, lakini siku hizi wamekuja kukataa. Watu wamekuja kusema haifai, na msichana akisomeshwa ni kama tu kijana ama mvulana. What a man can do, a man can do it better.